Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. I am Clyde. This is episode 98 on September 12th, 2018, and I am joined by Michael Ross.
Which one do you want, Michael or Ross?
Matthew Ross. No, I've got Michael Ross and Matthew Afton. And Jimmy Trammell.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Not bad, you know.
Coming to you from Atlanta.
See, that is what's screwing up this whole night. Is Jimmy's in Atlanta? You're supposed to either be in Florida or in Chicago. This whole Atlanta thing is.
Yeah, just kind of throwing everything off.
You realize you're 2 weekends late for Dragon Con, right?
Oh,
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you surprised that you got a cheap hotel room? And
yeah, actually,
now
I was.
you know why.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope you haven't been sitting there waiting for Night Attack to start.
Hey, you know what else is amazing? Earlier this week, there were 4 hurricanes out in the Atlantic Ocean, and all 4 of them missed Florida.
Nice.
Hurricanes are getting kind of crappy
yeah.
at their target.
Yeah.
Somebody needs target practice on that. So I don't know. It's we're finally in the motion here for we're finally getting back into rainy weather. I mean, it's going to start normal here, so and it's going to be a wet winter, I think, this year. So we're going to be going well this year. Well, with
you say that as if there's any alternative in Washington.
Well, so
It's
last couple
winter.
years-
It's Washington. It's wet. That's a foregone conclusion.
No, you have some preconceptions there, but that's besides the point. Yeah, we're gonna have a wonderful. It's been a long time since we've got the rain, and now we've got it. Which the first time it rains, people can't drive. It doesn't matter around here. Everybody forgets how to drive. You think people would know how to drive in the rain here, but no, never happens.
In their defense, it's amazing all summer long. It seldom rains in the summer. It's absolutely gorgeous up there in the summer. Best summers in the country, in my opinion.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I've lived a fair number of places, and I stand by that statement.
Okay.
Best summer in the country.
I haven't lived in a lot of places, so I'll take that compliment.
All I know is San Diego is best everything all the time. So
It's a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little warm there in the summer. So that would be, yeah. I mean, San Diego doesn't get amazingly hot because of the coastal temperature and breezes and stuff.
If you go to El Cajon, but no, just stay away from El Cajon, because El Cajon's down in the valley, so it suffers from the same thing as LA, where the air just sits and all the cool air goes over the top.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I honestly very much like San Diego most of the year. It's a pretty pleasant climate most of the time. But Washington State, Oregon, Portland, Seattle, the summer there is amazing. It's still very green and lush, and at the same time, it's not too hot or too cold. You often need a little jacket or a long sleeve shirt in the evenings in the middle of the summer, and yet you won't get too cold if you're going short sleeved, and you won't get too hot. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, all I know is Minnesota seems to have whoever determines the weather, I think suffers from bipolar disorder, because there are days where it forget. It's like, oh wait, it's middle of August. Oh crap, we're supposed to be cold, right? And it'll be like 50. And then it'll go from like 90 and humid to 50, and then right back to 90 and humid the next day. I mean, it was literally snowing in Fargo a few weeks ago for one day, and it's just like,
Wow.
But, well, speaking of bipolar, unsure of its identity, should we get into the news?
Oh, I think we should, but I'm going to need a little help on this one from you, Clyde, because this article is partially blocked from reading the rest of it. Roku Channel is launching its first branded content, and it looks like it's doing something with the Miller Coors people to start a campaign for to be on the Roku Channel to have stuff that is branded specifically for them. But I can't read any further than that.
What?
If you want to read the full article, register now for free. And whatever. So this sounds like is this literally the guys from Miller and Coors, the beer people that are making?
Yeah. So basically, what was happening was on the Roku channel, their free ad-supported channel, they teamed up with Miller to have a what did they call it? It was I can't. Yeah, for whatever reason, I can't read his article now, too. It worked when I was at work. But so I don't remember what it was called. But Miller and Coors worked with people from Discovery and filmed a bunch of branded stuff like best places that I've traveled to, thanks to, so-and-so. And then they've got just a whole bunch of content, and it's kind of a test. It's launching soon. I'm looking to see if I can find this article and try opening it in Chrome. I'm gonna kill my. No! Boom! I just killed the stream by opening Chrome. My computer hit 100%, like immediately, jumped from 50 to 99. So
I have no
I'm
idea.
not doing that. But I mean, it's interesting because they really haven't done anything like this before. I mean, they've done stuff on the Roku dashboard with such and such backgrounds sponsored by Humera or whatever, but yeah.
But is this a media aggregation channel, or are they actually producing content?
So the Roku channel is ad supported. It's their personal channel that they have now. It's actually the first channel that they've made that's available on other platforms.
Yeah.
So,
but it's like curated content, right? Like
it is.
It's not their Hulu originals. It's just shows that they've selected to run.
But it's their channel that if they wanted to, they could put out their originals, and I think they have considered doing original content, and this is the kind of dipping a toe into that. So they're working with Miller Coors, who made original content. It will only be available in this portal on this channel. But it's interesting. We'll probably touch back on this after it launches.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, the idea that you're getting the same, to some extent, you're getting the same effect of an over-the-air channel now online. Mm-hmm. It's ad-supported, free TV, and you're getting more sophisticated campaigns, which makes a lot of sense, especially if Hulu is taking advantage of any of the data that they have on their users, right?
Or Roku.
Yes, Roku. Sorry. It's because like the thing is that obviously Miller Coors supported generated content, and their advertising and stuff would be inappropriate to put with whatever, Teletubbies or something. But they have the ability to identify those kinds of things. So it'll be, to some extent, I suspect, very much like a standard over-the-air channel where they are selecting this kind of ad content to go with shows that are appropriate and timed right and stuff like that.
So what you're saying is, when I was a kid, Billy D. Williams wasn't supposed to be selling me Colt 45 while I was watching He-Man? Because it definitely did.
Well,
Okay.
But I will say, we've talked about the Roku channel before, and, people have discounted it a lot, but I say it's effective enough that Amazon decided they needed to do it too, as we talked about last week.
I think it fills a niche, right? I mean, when you got one of those nights when you don't know what to watch or don't know what you're in the mood for, a channel like this would be good to put on.
It used to be, originally, it was the Roku channel, if you're not familiar, was available on the Roku for Roku users provided by Roku. But as of like a month or two ago, they are that channel is available elsewhere, so you can watch it in your browser. You can watch it on other platforms. That's the thing that the Amazon copy doesn't do.
Nope.
Yet. So, they're branching out. They're testing some stuff. I know their stock hit an all-time high today, and everybody's preaching doom and gloom that there's no way it can stay this way. And, well, depends how this works out, I think. So
they used to say the same about Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, and the Roku IPO was what, I think this time last year, and everybody always said, "Oh, it didn't work. It wasn't good. They didn't raise enough capital in the initial opening." But now they've been steadily, it's been steady. So they made it clear that their goal is content and not hardware. So they're making strides, and we'll see where it goes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Next we got is DirecTV Now is actually coming out with a new set-top box that they are right now sending out for alpha testing and beta testing to some of their users. The new box is called the Osprey, and it's going to be an Android TV box specifically designed to show off their DirecTV Now service over the Android service. And so this is going out to specific customers. It looks like it's going to be your standard Android TV box with your, but with an Ethernet port. Thank goodness for that, and a kind of fancy-looking remote. I kind of like that remote. So compared to many other ones,
I was going to say that remote, which I'm lingering on the stream, it is reminiscent of something. Was it the Microsoft Media remote? Is that what I'm remembering?
Possibly, but actually, to me, it looks a lot like the Xfinity remote.
Oh, okay. But it looks very familiar, and it looks very natural.
It looks like a cordless telephone to me.
So, I mean, essentially, they're trying to do what Sling did with the Air TV. I don't know if they waited too long, maybe?
No,
I don't know.
See, this is a way for them to say, and we'll give you this inexpensive or free box, and have the box basically pre-configured to do their thing.
In. I use DirecTV. See, and that was the thing that always I couldn't justify buying the Air TV because I don't use Sling TV. And and I liked the Air TV. I just didn't like that it automatically, when you turn it on, it boots you into Sling TV, and then you navigate from there if that's not my primary. I do use DirecTV now, so I wouldn't be opposed to that kind of interface. Makes sense. that they're doing it on Android TV, and as you said, it does have a physical Ethernet port. So
Yep.
I'll try it.
Yep.
Well, if you are currently on there and they send you an email, you might be have the lucky chance to try it out as a beta tester or alpha tester.
I might have to go
Check your
figure that out.
email.
Yeah, because apparently they asked me to be a beta tester after I was yelling at them for not inviting me to beta test the DVR. I found out, they did like 3 months ago, and it was too late. Rock on. I welcome more boxes, and I am always happy to see a new Android TV box, provided they didn't skimp on the hardware. That's the only way they could screw this up, is if they didn't put enough memory or a big enough processor in there.
Well, they don't necessarily need that as long as it responds well for what you're doing, and if it's can decode your audio feed stream. So that's all you really need.
Well, the problem is with Android TV, you've got the ability to load apps, and a lot of times they don't give you enough storage.
That's true.
So.
Oh, I think we just got called a 4-letter word on the chat, and I take that. Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. I am very much a nerd. Looks like Discovery has been deciding to finally get outside of their own little box, and it looks like Hulu has been able to get a couple of their channels on their streaming service, and so is Sling TV. The channels, in particular the Hulu channels, picked up about 5 of the different channels from the Animal Planet to Velocity, so that'll be available on their streaming service. And they also picked up several of the various shows that they have on their channels, and to be shows on the Hulu service directly, so you can watch. like the Oprah show and some other ones. Tyler Perry's The Haves and Have-Nots are also going to be getting some of those on the Hulu service. Meanwhile, Sling TV has also been able to nab this a similar deal to get the Discovery channels onto their service, which is good because it was hard to get the Discovery channels without getting the dedicated services.
Yeah, one thing worth noting is that Sling says that the Sling Orange and Sling Blue channel will remain at $25 a month each after Discovery networks are added. So you're getting more, and you're not going to get stuck with the price hike, which is even better news.
Yay!
So I mean, if you're using Philo, I think Philo already has Discovery. And
yes,
I have Discovery on YouTube.
And Philo.
No, I'm trying to think if YouTube TV already has it. Because I know DirecTV Now does. But yeah.
So quick question: do we know if it's going to be appearing on Blue or Orange or either?
I think both.
Okay, so it'll be on whether you choose either Blue or Orange.
Yeah, that's why it said that
that's cool.
that both of the package will remain at the same price each after Discovery networks are added. So that makes me believe that they're both getting it. So it's going to be one of the base across the board. So.
More news on that front. Hulu is also adding more CBS channels. Looks like they're picked up with 24 feeds in more markets, anywhere from Salt Lake City to Ottumwa. I don't know where Ottumwa, Kirksville is. Ottumwa, where is that? 24 different markets. None of these are nearby to me, but it looks like Austin's on the list, so it looks like you are going to have them as an option for you.
Remember, this isn't so that. When you were talking about that, it sounded like they were adding more local, like 24 local affiliates. They've added a national CBS feed for these 24 markets.
Oh, so this is the national feed.
This is
not
a
the local
national feed.
Yeah, so
And
you don't get the local news stations and stuff like that. So that'll be a disadvantage to people that are, I mean, that's the challenge as a home user or as an internet streamer, right? Is getting a good source of local news and local TV. And this is something that a lot of the internet networks are struggling with accomplishing. They're getting something. They're getting you a step closer, and they continue to work on. According to this article, they're continuing to work on getting those local channels, like including the local news and stuff like that. But they're not there yet.
And as the article points out, PlayStation Vue, Fubo TV, and YouTube TV have all at one time offered a national feed in markets they couldn't get locals.
Right.
And that, as everyone knows, CBS has kind of been a stalwart in letting their content or their feed be allowed on any of these platforms. So just getting the national feed is pretty big news. If you're a fan of CBS primetime or daytime programming,
You should have it.
yeah. I mean, I don't think people are going to complain too much. They'll just be happy that they're getting it, and eventually, the local affiliates will come around. But
The trick here that I couldn't tell for sure was whether or not this would work with the DVR, and whether or not this would provide any access to any kind of like on-demand service. It didn't seem like it worked for either of those.
Well, I would assume the DVR works, but no, it would not give you on demand, because this is the live stream, not access into CBS's on-demand catalog.
So
the on-demand thing doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't expect that to be the case.
They already have that. It's called it's called CBS All Access.
Yes, some access.
Small access. Get it right.
Small access. Yeah, small access. But yeah, so I wouldn't expect that. But I would hope it works with the DVR. It doesn't say anything about that. That would concern me a little bit, because if it doesn't work with the DVR, I stand by the fact that without a DVR, the service is worthless. Now, not for everybody, but for a good percentage of the population, they don't want to watch live. Nobody wants to watch live and watch commercials and crap like that.
Well, if you don't want to watch live, we got a good option for you. What you can do is you can get the Air TV box, which has officially launched their new DVR platform. It's a Sling integrated box. It has Sling built into it, and apparently it runs Android TV like some of the other ones we talk about. But this one has got a cool feature. It allows you to connect to other devices in your house or remotely, and be able to stream either live or DVR content from the device to either Roku, Android TV, or Fire TV box, or your iOS or Android phone or tablet. So it is able to do all these things. It doesn't appear to have any additional fees, and it will record over-the-air signals for you to
you got to go back and go back to when they launched the Air TV. This is what they promised 2 years ago. So this is Sling's Air TV.
Mm-hmm.
It had an option. You could get this dongle that connected to your antenna so that you could watch over the Air TV, and they kept saying DVR's coming soon, DVR's coming soon. Well, now here we've got it, and it looks like that it's finally available.
And so this is their own Sling TV device that's called the Air TV,
which we were talking about earlier.
It's the whole thing integrated into one box, including your DVR functionality. You're able to record to USB storage, and it includes the DVR function for whatever you catch over the air.
Yeah. So now you've got your Android TV box and your Tableau or your Plex built into the same box.
Okay. It's a little late, but I'm glad it's here.
Yeah. I mean, they never. I think a lot of people will be new to the Air TV anyway when they see this because people didn't really pay attention to it to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my question. Is it too little too late? Is it really going to get traction? I mean, it's a good idea. I like the idea.
I think the timing is perfect because as we talked about just a minute ago, I was comparing the new DirecTV Now Android TV box to this TV box, the Air TV box, and they both do essentially the same thing. They are focused to promote a single streaming service while giving you access to Android TV ecosystem, except this one boasts the, hey, you can also record local over the air on this device, and if you're faced with the two of them, which one should I get, then this may be a little bit more tempting, because especially if you're not already ensconced in one of those ecosystems, if you say, hey, I need to sign up for one of these, then that might bring some people into the Sling ecosystem. So we'll see.
Interesting.
All right, and moving on, we have what is obviously going to be Clyde's next portable entertainment system called the Humax. It's a horrible name. The Humax Vision is a Google Home that projects Android TV onto the wall like a projector, like a short throw projector. This little device it runs Android TV, so it is a full Android TV and a Google Home, probably with built-in speakers, as far as I can tell. It looks like it does everything in one, not tiny box, but small enough box, and will allow you to view anywhere you go, any trip you take. Just put it down on a table and press play, and you've got your portable entertainment system, and probably a big screen TV.
I don't know about how portable it's going to be because it looks fairly big.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this definitely is something that I am intrigued by. You put it into a room and set it up and just leave it alone and have I'm wondering what the picture quality looks like. I have worked with I have used little portable Android TVs that had like a touch screen in the top that you could, like a Pico projector, and they work really well. So this is just like has the added convenience of short throw Pico and Google Home. I'm in. As long as it's under like, if they can get like to the 300 or under mark, I think I'm in.
Yeah, looking at the found a page that has the specs for it. It does not tell us what the the resolution of the display is, but it is a quad core. It's you got 2 gigs of RAM and 8 gigs of internal storage, so it's gonna be not your greatest Android.
No, it sounds like the Me box that I've got sitting over there, which ironically at the bottom it says read this next, Me.
Right.
But Xiaomi's anti-rollback protection explained. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm curious to see if it's more than maybe 250. Then I may not be that interested. But
we'll see.
Yeah,
with that much stuff integrated, it probably is going to be $400.
Probably, and that's why I'm saying at 400 it should have much more storage than 8 gigs.
Hey, Michael, how much did you pay for your 4K television?
The 49-inch in this room I paid $300 for. It's got the Roku TV built into it. My bigger 55-inch with HDR, I paid $560.
Oh.
But you also got to remember, this is a different market. So you may have a room where you can't mount a TV and you don't really have any place to set a TV and you don't want it there when the TV's not on.
Mhm.
You just turn off the box, and now you've just got a plain wall.
Or you're like Clyde, and you take it to the hotel, and you connect it to your little portable Wi-Fi router that has a VPN back to home, so you are home for your viewing, and then you can watch your shows wherever you are on a big screen TV, whatever you're doing.
Who would do
Greg?
that?
I don't know.
Oh wait,
No
I would
clue.
do that. Yeah,
Okay.
but no, if it's as big as I think it is, I think it's gonna be like that, and that's too big to be traveling with.
Yeah.
And Beam looks like he found the same a similar page to what I saw. Oh, okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, not much information of what's going on there. Unfortunately, it doesn't say much at all.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is
All
a
right.
personal website with no affiliation with Google.
Yeah.
That is.
That's
Just
about
confirm.
as. Yeah, there's no good information about it yet. We will find out more later. Meanwhile, if you are a Plex subscriber and have been enjoying using Plex for your home streaming and been looking at possibly using the cloud service to stream
Yeah.
your stuff,
What's new?
I'm sorry, you're going to be losing the personal cloud streaming service.
Wait.
Basically, this is the part of the Plex where you would actually use one of your own existing cloud storage solutions like OneDrive or Google Drive or something like that. Be able to put your files into that as your storage for Plex in the cloud, and then have that being streamed to your devices using the Plex as that cloud as your backup, as your storage medium. I've actually done this. I've done a little bit of testing with my OneDrive version of this because I got a OneDrive account and I had no idea what to do with it. So I threw a couple things in there just to see what it is. It's limited in what it could do. It couldn't do a lot of the different, transcoding things, and it looks like that is the thing that's killed this. If you wanted to do transcoding on this, it was taking too much server power in the cloud for Plex, and they've decided it is not worth the cost to them, and so they're shutting the service down. Hey, Plex, if you ask me to set it up, so yeah, you can watch it, but we're not transcoding it. We're sending you the stream exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would work fine for me.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, it was. They tried it. They've been kind of pioneering the field of sharing your content through legitimate means, and I'm kind of not surprised that because I was curious how they were going to get this to work to begin with, because they had no control over the back end of where the stuff was storing and how available it was going to be on AWS or Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive, all these different places. Because if it didn't work, they were going to be blamed regardless of what was going on in the back end. So,
well, not only that, but they got to compete with people like YouTube. I mean, doesn't YouTube give you unlimited storage or something like that?
Well, yes,
Or
but
did
you
you-
can't. But you wouldn't be able to upload any kind of
No.
copyrighted content. And they've got big devices to detect that when you do that, so they get you in big trouble for that. This would you would be able to put your own backup copy on there, and there's nothing they can do about it. So, but apparently the transcoding is too much.
Yeah.
yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, this is a memory, a processor intensive thing to do. So, doing that for every customer and stuff, it's expensive, and Plex is not an expensive service. So,
Yeah,
Yep.
unfortunately. So Star's streaming service, they've actually been doing their streaming thing for a few years now, and they've now reached a total of 3 million subscribers. That's the direct streaming service, or the service that you get when you sign in through a secondary service, like signing up through Amazon's platform. That's $9 a month for 3 million people. That's a lot of money coming to you, and that's so you can watch their originals or many of the movies. Like they've got Disney Pixar's movies and a bunch of the various cartoons and a bunch of various shows on there. Like what was the one I was looking at? Spider-Man: Homecoming is actually on there. If you haven't seen that yet, I recommend it. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah, this is one of those things that I pay for every month. I don't
Yeah.
want to pay for every month,
Mm-hmm.
but I tried when the final season of Ash vs. Evil Dead came on. I said, "Well, I'll try this sign up through Amazon thing,"
Oh no!
and Amazon got me because there is no way to turn it off. I've been
What?
through every menu, and that's one of my main complaints about Amazon is I
It's-
cannot find the freaking setting to turn it off, and then I give up, and then all of a sudden there's another bill for 9 something, and then I forget about it, and this story reminded me, oh crap, yeah, I'm still paying for that.
It's the easiest thing in the world. That's the thing I love the most about Amazon subscriptions. I
No,
subscribe
signing up was easy.
everything.
Turning it
No.
off,
Easy. I love it. It's
I can't find it. I've dug through the labyrinth of
Michael-
subdirectories, and
Michael, you got to realize you're doing that with a Fire TV box. He's doing it with a Roku.
no,
box.
I'm doing that with my computer browser.
yeah, with the computer
Oh.
browser, you just go to Amazon, you click the accounts and lists, go to your subscribe or your
And then it
membership
says there is
subscription.
nothing there. There is nothing to show you. And then I get charged every month.
Oh, see, I just clicked on it. 2 clicks, I see HBO there. I can cancel it right here in 1 click.
Yeah. And this goes back to the same thing I absolutely hate about the Fire interface is I don't like the way they lay stuff out.
Yeah.
And this is another one of the things where it's just like I've paid, so I'm one of those 3 million subscribers, and I will say
Yeah.
Stars, they do have some good original content. They do have their service has been top notch. I've never had a problem. I don't have any complaints. My only complaint was with Amazon because they just giggle while they charge me every month.
So
Yeah.
for a brief period of time, we got Stars as part of our package with when we were on Comcast, and we also had Stars streaming just directly. And then I think my wife signed up for Stars on Amazon, and somehow we're paying it for it 3 times. So
See, I
wonder if we
think-
got all those off yet.
You know, it's one of those user interfaces that either click for you or they don't, right? I feel like, because like I said, that's one of the things that I absolutely love about it. I feel like I know exactly how to use it, and it's super easy for me to subscribe and cancel my subscriptions. And, like I said, I used CBS All Access with Amazon recently. I canceled it and have moved on. I'm doing HBO right now. I do suspect, there's some good stuff in Stars, and I'm really interested in checking some of it out. So I suspect after I finish like Game of Thrones and anything else that appeals to me in HBO, that I'll move on to another service, something like Stars, to do Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah,
or something.
Ash vs. Evil Dead is an absolute must-watch, especially if you enjoyed the movies that came before.
Movies, yeah, Army of Darkness
and yeah, there was something else that was on Stars that was great, and was it American Gods? Maybe that's what it was. But something that I need to go back, and it's probably coming back, so even if I could find the cancel it, I can't cancel it now. So
They've got you hooked, mister.
yeah, well, I mean, and Al-Anon, you have seen firsthand me. I can never even find the stupid watch list when we're doing the movie party to get in and find the stupid video that I purchased so that we can watch it. So yeah, I hate that. I hate the way Amazon lays their stuff out. It doesn't work for me. So, but that's fine. Congratulations, Stars. Welcome to the party.
Yep. 3
All right. So Apple had their big announcement today. Moving on.
All right.
No, actually, we have a little bit of actual a little bit of streaming news in there. Apple did announce that their tvOS 12 is hitting on September 17th. A few things are going to
the official release.
Officially hitting it on September 17th, and that it'll be coming with your Dolby Atmos support. It'll be coming with the single sign-on feature, which right away will be working with Charter. Maybe we'll with more in the future. A couple other things like password autofill is going to be in there. A new remote if you're using iOS 12 on your phone. And so a couple of other little things to make a little life improvements. The biggest one for me is the fact that if that single sign-on thing, if that catches on like wildfire, that's going to be a killer feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've had the single sign-on for a while. This is an enhancement to it, right? The single sign-on's been there since, it even says it in the article, since 2016. But this is an enhancement to it, though.
This is the real single sign-on where basically you are on the network of your provider. It can detect that it's on the network of your provider and automatically doesn't even ask you a question. It's a zero sign-on. That's what they're calling it.
That's the enhancement, right? To where before you would give your credentials once, and it would authenticate all the things you have access to.
Right.
So basically, it's of no use to all of the cord cutters that aren't paying for cable, so therefore you're not going to be, because I'm on a Comcast network, but I don't have access to Comcast stuff because I'm not a cable subscriber. So
yeah, unfortunately, not if you're an actual cord cutter and you're not getting TV, this will not support you. But some people they are, and that this will be right up their alley. It'll be zero. It'll just simply turn on the box, and if you've got a supported network, that's all you need. You'll be ready to go. You'll be watching your stuff, which is kind of cool.
Well, you know, if your internet service comes from a cable company, a lot of times they'll kind of shanghai you into taking the cable service because they'll give you, if you take the cable service, then you get the internet service for less money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, speaking of somebody that's not an Apple fanboy at all, this doesn't do anything to convince me to consider Apple. If I was already in the Apple ecosystem, I'd be like, these are some great new features, especially the Dolby Atmos, which
Dolby Atmos is good. Yeah,
that's a big enhancement. So
yeah. I mean, in terms of new features and all, for me, that is the biggest features, the Dolby Atmos, right? Especially since I'm considering buying a 4K television maybe sometime this year.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. The single sign-on, I mean, like Clyde said, I'm a cord cutter, so I mean, that's I'm not going to be able to use that, right? So, but the Dolby Atmos, I'm excited for that one.
The new screensavers, that'll be nice, but nobody really cares about it. It's not stuff.
Well, I mean, the screensavers are nice on the Apple TV. Yeah. I mean, if you've ever seen one, right? I mean, it's really nice, and I do kind of enjoy that about the Apple TV. Like when you walk away for a bit and you come back and the screensaver's on, it's like, oh yeah, you'll just stop and kind of look for a few seconds, and they're like, okay, on to the next show.
Right. Yeah, well, that's what I mean is that these are things that while nobody's going to get excited and be like, oh, now I need to buy an Apple TV, anybody that already has one or is an Apple fan that would consider upgrading to a newer version so they can get this update. I don't know if maybe the old versions of Apple TV aren't going to support it or whatnot, but point being, this is something that services their current fans and doesn't do anything to encourage people to transfer. You're not going to get one because of the new screensavers or because of the single sign-on, but I'm going to be very happy if I'm already a user.
Yeah, this is for the 4th generation Apple TV or the Apple TV 4K.
Right. Okay.
So this is aimed at Apple's core demographic.
and I will briefly mention the phone announcement that Apple made today. I thought it was pretty nice. Decent hardware that was released today.
Was that the XS?
Yeah.
They just did like they always do and slap an S on there.
Yeah, and they have the maximum access too.
And then they have an XR.
Yes, they do have an XR.
Yeah, but
it's
that's
hard-
not as fun as XS. Did they play some good 80s music to go with it?
Yeah, well, yeah, they should have. I don't think
In
they did.
XS?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably
That would have been a good band to have with it, right?
That would have been great.
Or there's other jokes too going around the internet. Rather than 10s, call it tennis.
The tennis.
Yeah.
Tennis.
Tennis.
Yeah. But yeah, overall they did. The Apple Watch, I forgot about that. The Apple Watch really made a real good improvement.
So
That's the one that I might actually buy.
So with these products, they are targeting both Honda and Yamaha, because the XR is Honda's dirt bikes, and the XS was Yamaha's street bikes for many years. Like I have an XS 1100.
Didn't know that.
All right.
So it looks like Verizon is actually going to start distributing their 5G solution to homes starting October 1st. It looks like they're going to be starting. Yeah, I did put that in quotes.
Yeah, but I had already switched away. So
Right. So it looks like if you live in Houston, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, or Sacramento, you will have the option of getting the home-based router, which will give you anywhere from 300 to 1 gigabyte per second internet access for your home. It's starting October 1st, and they will be looking to expand this proprietary 5G standard to other cities in the future. So I still don't see a price. Did I see a price on this? I do not remember where I saw it.
it said Verizon Wireless customers with qualifying smartphone plans pay $50 per month, while non-customers pay $70 per month.
Yeah.
Depending on what you get, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's a
70's
pretty
not
reasonable
bad.
price.
Yeah.
For 300 to gigabit, 300 megabit to gigabit internet, that's actually a really good price. I pay like 50 and I think I get 200. So, if this is reliable. So, I mean, anybody that's used any of the other cellular internet services that are out there, like Clear and stuff like that, those can be pretty iffy. And so it's not that they're iffy because you're traveling or whatever, but some houses just don't have really great coverage. So it depends on how you fit into their tower system and where the towers are in relation to you. That was one of the issues I had with Clear Wire back before it became Clear, was that I sat just far enough away from the tower that I was technically considered to be in service, but my coverage and my speeds were much lower than what was advertised. So at the time, I think it was supposed to be 1.5 megabits per second, and I was getting like 700 at peak. And so that's one of those things that if they can get good coverage to the customers that they sell this to, this is going to be a really great service, and hopefully less expensive. You shouldn't have to have a big $100 sign up fee or have a technician come out and run wires to your house. And yeah,
That's
See, there
this
you go.
I bought for my Clear modem.
yeah.
You
So
see
that
how,
you
how
could get-
giant this thing is. And
Yeah.
then right about time I broke down and I got it and it sort of worked was when they said, "Oh, hey, we're not going to be doing this anymore. We're shutting down."
Yeah.
Bastard. I
Uh,
still have the receipt in there. 10/26/13 is when I bought this.
Wow.
go.
And it's been sitting on top of a cabinet ever since.
Yeah. Well, someday you may need to be able to get a better antenna for one of your routers or something. This is nice because it saves effort. Like if you ever once this is in place and if you have good coverage, you're probably always going to have good coverage. It's not likely going to be an issue for you. I know that every time I've had wired service, whether it be cable or TV or phone line based, there's always issues because, somebody cuts your wire or somebody disconnects your wire at the box to get something else plugged in and they forget to reconnect you. Like that kind of crap happens all the time. And that doesn't really happen with this. So, if it's working, it works. And that's great.
I've never had any kind of physical connection disconnected by some guy working on it or somebody clip a line. Seriously, you must have the worst luck because that's never happened to me. But there are still lots of questions here. For example, what's the latency going to be like? As MBeam points out, what's going to be your cap before you have to pay more?
They did say no data caps in the article.
Oh, good. Well, that's wonderful. They also just mentioned that you will be getting a free either Apple 4K, TV 4K or a free Google Chromecast. And boy, I wonder which one everybody's going to pick up.
No, it wasn't a Chromecast. It was you either get a YouTube TV service or a Google or a whatever.
The Apple 4K TV. Well, now you get either the 4K or you get the Chromecast Ultra, and in addition, you get 3 months of YouTube TV.
3 months.
Oh, okay.
So you get all of that just for signing up to the service. So,
and Matt, there's one other question: do they continue to charge you even if you're getting hit by the hurricane?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, the firefighters in whatever city, they had to pay for their unlimited data to be increased. So I'm sure Verizon will do. We'll keep doing that.
The other thing about this is that, you get. Never mind.
So it's okay. You guys heard the story about? I don't remember where the fire department was, but there was a fire department in California where they were on Verizon and they literally hit their cap. Right? Mm-hmm. You heard this story?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay, well, yeah, the story goes is that they hit their cap for their service, and so they were getting slowed down, which means these firefighters who were depending on the ability to send and receive data to, get updates and other things like that, were having to argue with Verizon in order to get their cap released. And so Verizon's a little hot water because of that. So, but then it's Verizon; they always get themselves in a little bit of trouble.
Well, at least
the other thing I was going to mention is that I didn't see in this article are there subscriptions. This is one thing that is typical with Verizon and cellular type internets is that you have a contract period. So while the price seems reasonable, if you're signing a 2-year contract to get that price, that's something to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And to I don't know who you said. Was it Wabbit or MBeam or
probably MBeam
that said about latency, and that is the big concern and the big issue with these cellular internet services is latency tends to be very high.
It depends because even in 2013, I was doing all of my streaming over that Clear. I would travel with my Clear modem and my Google TV in my suitcase, and it worked everywhere I went.
Latency isn't an issue for streaming, though. I mean, it may take an extra 500 milliseconds for you to get a stream.
Yeah,
but video games, it is a very serious issue because you are adding an extra leg, which also not only is an extra leg into the system, but it tends to be a very slow leg for that level of communication to and from those cellular towers. So you often are running at hundreds of millisecond latency instead of sub 20 millisecond latencies, which are what really is acceptable when you're playing video games.
Yep.
All right. Looks like there's been a study about Netflix's recent decision to try testing out whether or not they can insert advertisements into their shows. And the study shows that simply that Netflix would be losing a lot of customers if they decided to do such a thing. In other news, water is wet, wind blows, and it's hard to see in the dark.
Wait. What? Since when?
Don't do it, Netflix. Don't do it.
No, I sure hope Netflix did their study group and decided, yeah, let's not do that, because that, oh my goodness, I mean, I could see a bunch of people just abandoning ship and going to other services with that.
Well,
Myself included.
Did you look down at the breakdown as they broke down what it would be? They said basically TV viewers between the ages of 16 and 74, they asked how they'd react to these promos. 23% right on the top said they'd unsubscribe, while another 37% was left undecided. So they could quit. 41% say they'd be fine with I like this. They'd be fine with Friends rewatch being continually interrupted by Finn Jones telling you that no, Iron Fist is good now. We swear.
That's very specific.
Yes.
New season's out. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I'm actually excited for it.
But then now the change was if viewers if Netflix added the ads and then also lowered its subscription rate by a few bucks, then people were a little bit more accepting, but still it was 16% that would cancel, and 16% of Netflix's base is a huge number. So
well, I mean, Netflix is making a lot of money already. Why do they need to do this? I mean, are they just want to be a bunch of greedy bastards?
Well, so here's the thing. The trick is that they're talking predominantly about putting in ads about other content. It's not like they're selling ads to Coors Miller. What this does for them is it helps you identify other shows that you want to watch on Netflix. So they view this as a service to you. They're helping you find stuff that you want to watch. Just like and I like how they pointed out the autoplay previews. Like when you're scrolling through Netflix and you pause for like a tenth of a second and it starts to play the intro to the show. I absolutely abhor that. Yeah. It's awful, especially when I'm like flipping through my channels with my kids in the room. Some of that stuff shouldn't be playing with my kids around, and it's just atrocious. It bugs the heck out of me. So they're likening it to that, though, because in their mind, that's a good feature to help you identify whether you want to actually keep watching the show. The reality is it feels like an advertisement, and I'm paying for the service. I don't want to be paying for advertisements.
See, and that's exactly what HBO does, and I absolutely hate it. You go to watch something on HBO, and then it's like, oh, hey, here, you have to watch this long commercial for one of our other things. Oh, yeah. You didn't like it? You don't want to watch that show after the last time we made you watch it? Well, here, watch it 23 more times. Maybe you'll want to watch this now. And yeah. I'm out.
I don't mind the trailers in Netflix, but I definitely wouldn't want to see the commercials, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Oh well, that's okay. Now that's basically what. Hopefully, Netflix is taking this information and figuring out what to do. What's the best way for them to move forward? And obviously, right now, the best way is maybe not to do this. So.
Yeah, fortunately, they're watching us right now, and they're like, "Oh, we should reconsider this because VOD Squad doesn't like it."
Well,
obviously, they're basing the decision.
I've talked about it before that over the last year or so, I've been struggling to justify why I'm paying for Netflix, and that would be another nail in the coffin on my end, because I barely ever even open Netflix. And the only reason I'm still paying for it is because kids and other people that are depending on me. But, whatever.
That's a good enough reason. After that, you don't need it anymore. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
You'll find out when you get rid of it what you really like. Oh, I actually did want to watch that, and it's on Netflix. And then you'll get back on when you're ready. It's all cool because no contracts are wonderful.
See,
except I have to say, this is my longest running subscription ever, because this is tied back into my original Netflix movie account. that goes back to like 2003.
Yeah.
So,
Or you could switch to T-Mobile and then you get Netflix for free.
yeah, I can't.
And
That's a
is,
huge. That would be me writing a huge check that I'm not writing. I'd love to get over to T-Mobile, but I can't.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
all right.
alrighty. Well, this is the point where we would normally check in with Big Voice Jay to find out what's going on with the movie draft. But you know what? Doesn't matter. I won. We can move
Are
on.
you sure? I thought it was getting close there at the end. Like we were moving up on you.
Well, technically, Have a Drink was was kind of closer. Have a Drink is only like what, $150 million away from you. That's actually closer than I expected.
896. Yep. Which is 100 million higher than
150. Yeah, I know, and 150 million away from you. So that actually is not a bad run by Team Have a Drink, I must say.
Yeah. In other seasons, that might have been the winning team. You know, that's a really solid score. Like
Clyde, all I can say is all hail Clyde, and Clyde, you are the supreme commander of the summer movie draft.
Maybe.
This is me practicing my wave for the parade that's going to be thrown in my honor.
You need a parade, Clyde, because we can provide you with a parade if necessary.
Ticker tape?
No, nobody can afford ticker tape anymore. They don't make it anymore.
Yeah. No, rock on. I am looking forward to the next draft, so and I still want to know what replicas it's going to do. So yeah. Whatever. I guess burn it down. Keanu Reeves, you screwed me once again.
That's okay. It's you won. No worries.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess since we've got time to kill. Ooh, hey, M-Beam, thanks for the chair. All right. What do we got?
All right. Well, speaking of Netflix, actually, I run across a good show there on Netflix. It's called The Rain, or The Ring in German. It's a German TV show. It's a science fiction show, is what it is. Kind of like post-apocalyptic kind of show, but it's really good, very entertaining, well done. It's the show was originally in German, but it's dubbed over in English, so you won't have any trouble understanding it or anything. But it's really well done, and if you like science fiction, you like that type of show, then I recommend it. I'm 3 episodes into it, and really enjoying that one.
All right.
Cool.
Very cool.
Mike? Matt?
Yeah, I've got a few things. Finished watching Madam Secretary's most recent season. It was good. I enjoyed it. Started watching NCIS again because I'm a number of years behind, and realizing that I still enjoy the show, even though it's been running for a very long time, 15 seasons now. I'm only watching like season 9 or something like that. And in the analog world, as they say on not Threatwire, Tech Thing. If you watch that podcast, they always talk about analog life, and I am reading a book called The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I'm not very far into it, but it is really well written, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I actually heard about it on DTNS, or maybe it was on Cord Killers. They were talking about it at the beginning of one of the shows, where they were showing all of like my brain is completely fried tonight. It's,
It's okay.
the host that's not Brian. I don't know
Tom?
why. Tom, yes.
What?
No, like I'm serious. My brain is
Tom,
completely shut down. Tom Merritt.
The show
I know
does-
who he is.
The VOD Squad does not endorse anything that is coming out of his mouth right now.
I'm
We
like
know
a
who
huge
Tom
fan of
Merritt
Tom
is.
Merritt. And my brain is, like I said, it's completely shut down. Anyways, they were talking about it on Cord Killers, and it wasn't even one of the books he showed. It was just something that Brian mentioned, and I was like, dude, I'll check it out, and I'm loving it. So thank you, Brian, for mentioning that and making it sound like it was good.
Okay, I have a question for you about Madam Secretary.
Yes.
So, this woman is a secretary. Does she like read palms at work, or does she, on the side, arrange hookers?
Exactly.
Both. So
Yeah, why
really
not?
a madam.
That-
Oh, okay.
It would
In both
make
sense of the words.
yeah, it's far more effective when you get, you got to get multiple streams of income
Yeah, yeah.
in order to be successful.
So she's also telling the future, and she already knows what kind of woman that you wanted. Okay,
You don't
see it.
even
It's
have
on
to-
different levels.
they just show up before you even ask.
Yeah,
Wow.
because she knew.
So
She knew you.
knew.
She knew. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
If
I'm
it's
at
a
it.
show you're expecting to watch, you're going to be very
It's-
surprised.
It's one of
It's
those
kind of like
shows-
when I went to watch Tiny House Hunters, and I was so angry that they weren't little people. So I thought it was little people buying houses, not
it's one of those
regular,
shows
not
that, like,
morons buying like chicken
Same.
coops.
I'm a relatively conservative individual, and so the show does a really good job of like towing the line of not being so overtly political that you feel like you gotta hate the show, at least for me, because they're talking about something that is politically contradictory to your own personal views. They definitely get into some illusions about the way the political environment is going on today, and
It's not like the first season of House of Cards where they take actual political ideology and flip it so they can the thing they're demonizing is like the wrong party.
Yeah, no. The thing is that it actually, you can tell that the people that are making the show are trying to make points about things that they really believe without being hyper politicized about it in most cases. And while sometimes I don't agree with the beliefs that they espouse, usually I don't disagree to the point that they're offensive. I suspect, Clyde, that you would abhor the show because it would probably offend you at every moment.
Probably.
It
Probably.
offend your sensibilities, not like actually offend you, but
Yeah.
you would abhor it. So probably don't watch it. There is no Madams and no palm readings and
Okay. Sadness.
So for me, I have been very busy with weekends, mostly me trying to figure out how to get a wire from my attic in my second floor to my crawl space beneath my first floor, which has been quite the experience. I've been crawling around in my poor ceiling trying to run wires. Has been very fun.
The easiest thing you can do,
Go
they
outside.
they make outdoor Ethernet.
Yeah.
Just run it out like you would a coax cable.
Yeah, I know, that's kind of cheating, but okay. But the other thing that I'm dealing with is that this beginning of the school year, which makes life really crazy for me. And oh yeah, furnace ducts. That's a horrible decision. If you want to do that, don't do that. Don't ever do that. And even plenum cable, I wouldn't do that. For me, but we've been sitting around and we've been able to relax. We actually did pick up the first episode of The Last Ship, which we've decided, we've been enjoying that every season that's been going on. We're suckers for some good naval exercises kind of a show. It's pretty good for that kind of thing. Well, it's the new season. It's their last season. It's the exact same plot, just another simple twist involved with it. So if you like more of the same, go watch it with us. It's more of the same. We can get one more episode, one more season of it for everybody to watch. So,
All right. Well, I hope everybody took my recommendation and started watching Castle Rock, because it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good leading up to the last show, and then I watched last week's episode and was just like, holy crap! And my brain literally exploded, and I had to mess all over the back.
Oh man!
It was just,
those are so hard to clean up.
It's a good thing you grew another head.
Oh yeah, I mean, I spent the weekend trying to, corrective surgery, and
It's expensive, man.
but it was totally worth it. New episodes come out Wednesday. There is a new episode. I'm trying to get through this so that I can get to this next episode. I am super excited. If you haven't been watching, Mike, did you get a chance? Did you?
So, it was like the easiest thing to find on the TV while I was at the dentist. So I watched the first 30 minutes of the first episode. So I sort of started watching it as you recommended.
Yeah, when I got through the first episode, maybe two, I wasn't sure if I was gonna. I was like, I don't know if I'm in on this. About 3 was when it kind of just took off.
That's the rule. If you're going to try something, try 3 episodes, and if you still don't like it, you can drop it.
And it's Stephen King, where, as I was explaining to my friend, the book, it is almost 2,000 pages, or it's over 1,000 pages, right? And the story doesn't get going until around page 600 or 700. So that's typical King. But the thing worth noting is this is not an adaptation of a Stephen King book, which is where I got hung up. Because I went into it, nobody ever adapts anything well. This is an original property written by other people based on the King universe. So they have freedom, and oh my god, they are knocking it out of the park. You can tell that the people that are making this show have a genuine love for this universe. And it is the Stephen King property that every King fan has been waiting for, I think. So,
cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that sums everything up. We've been here. Sorry for starting late. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and rolling with us. We have one more episode, and then it is 100. So, I know.
Oh, no.
We were saying, oh, yeah, we're coming up on 100. Yeah, it's way out there. And, dude, it's like week after next, so.
I know. What do we do after that? I think it seems like it doesn't make any sense after that. We're just gonna have to start over.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just Thelma and Louise and drive off the cliff.
Something like that.
I thought we were gonna swap faces, and then Mike wasn't here to experience that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you everybody else for tuning in. We love having you guys around every week. And for those of you that might be checking this after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central on Twitch. Just look for the VOD Squad. If you want to reach out to us in the meantime, you can hit us up on Twitter at the VOD Squad. And guys, stick around for we got some titles to vote for. Head on over to tbs.showbot.tv. But I am going to kill this. And off to After Squad.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.